Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's the Green Oak coming back at you again with another video on Japanese culture. So basically, should black people teach English in Japan? I say yes, but it's just a simple answer. I think you should. There's no problem with that. So basically, what as a black man, any problems that I felt or experienced, they were I don't. They were, can I say, minimized compared to America. Now, don't get me wrong. If you do like the cram schools and stuff like that, and you try to teach privately, they prefer Caucasians or white people, whatever. They still prefer those people. But if you have your credentials and stuff like that, then a lot of the racism is minimized, and it's essentially, can I say, swept under the rug. And but the reason why it's swept under the rug is because your coworkers, they start having a respect for you, and they really value your opinions. They really value your input. They value your input on lessons. So if they do have any inkling of being racist, then you basically either negate or validate their their thoughts on it. So basically, if they think that, oh, every black person is this and that, and through you, because essentially, as a black person, the way I thought about it whenever I was teaching English in Japan, I thought that I am the representative, or I'm the representation of every single black person. That's how I think whenever I was in Japan or just teaching overseas. And because a lot of the students that you teach, you will most likely be their only experience with a black person. So if they have any negative connotations or stereotypes, you are going to be the first-hand experience of whether they continue having those thought patterns. So, in a sense, you are a type of diplomat or ambassador to your own culture whenever you teach English to Japanese students. And that is a rewarding part all in itself, because you as a black person, you know that not everybody thinks like you. Not every black person is like you, right? But the Japanese students, they're all kind of lumping black people in as one, because they ain't never really talked to one. They never really had this experience with one. So you are able to basically show them there are different hues to black people. There are different layers to black people, and we are not a monolith, you know? So, and you do this by just participating in the culture, talking to them, you're teaching them, and you are essentially immersing them in who you are as a human being. That's the best part. Like, Japanese people figure out if you are a decent person or not, you know, whenever you're teaching. They're gonna know, like, oh, that's just green, sensei. That's just green. And you will know if you have like really done your job well by the end of the year if they draw pictures of you, not in a bad way, of course, but like in a positive light, in a positive memory. I think that's the most rewarding part for me, because it's like you know, as a black person, you are so hard on yourself day to day, living in America, right? You are your own worst critic, you know. You but you also have to have the biggest self-esteem, and even if you fake it until you make it, right? But when you go to, Japanese society and culture, they want you to succeed, because if you succeed, it's good for everyone to succeed. The whole country succeeds if you succeed. You see, so they have a lot of positive affir- affirmations. Um, they don't want to basically introduce negativity into your life. They only want to inject positivity. And if you're a black person who has been, can I say, dealing with a lot of negativity, then you go into like a Japanese school system where everything is kind of routine, and the culture is supportive of success, then you will have a great time teaching there, because they want you to be the best version of yourself, because it means that their children will have a better future. So this is what I felt first and foremost when I was teaching, is that they wanted me to be there, They wanted me to give it my all, and they wanted me to teach them, from my perspective, not from a homogenized or a globalized perspective. You know, Ultimately those things will come anyway, but they want to know from the green perspective, from my perspective, right? They want to know how I thought about this and what does this mean, And they'll go to you in many cases if they don't understand a Western aspect of society. Um, I remember vividly that even in Japan, they had like newsletters on Black Lives Matter. It was all in Japanese, of course, but the fact that they still was able to kind of keep up coverage and still know about our plights and stuff over there, it was really like amazing and stuff like that. you know um they knew about like Oklahoma tornadoes. They all asked me if my family was okay and safe whenever like tornadoes hit and stuff, and it became national news. They really had a true concern for me as a human being. And over here in America, we aren't really humanized like that. So that's why we can just pack up and leave and just go places, because on a day-to-day basis, we may feel less than human, right? So when you go over there, you are human. You are a person. You are a living being over there, And when you're being treated, like, I'll give you an example. Whenever I finished teaching lessons, it was this Japanese woman. My tea was always hot right after my lesson. This was just customary. And it may have also been, she liked me personally as a human being. So she personally made sure to have my tea ready after each lesson. I didn't make her do that at all. This was just a gesture that she gave to me for just being me and a human, And I really felt that from my heart, because it's like you don't really get treated with a lot of kindness like that, in your own country, right? So to come to a different country and you're a black person and you're being treated well and you have a respectable job, it does wonders for your psyche. It does wonders for like your self-esteem. It does wonders for just humanizing you and putting you on equal footing as everyone else. It really does. Now, like I said, Japan does, like, it does have its faults, and in certain instances there can be some racism. um there was one school I was in where this person was obviously like just racist, and but it was only that one instance. All the other schools, she was pretty much like the outlier, and she was old, and I think that she just didn't want to accept modern teaching method. But essentially, she was the outlier. But 99% of the time, I should say, or 90% of the time, you're going to have like a positive experience teaching English, because they're going to be interested in you, not as like so much as a black person. Like, that may or may not help, but they're interested in you as a human being with human experiences and emotions, things like that. So yes, I would absolutely positively recommend teaching English as a black person in Japan.